Hi, hello, this is Kaz Risk, and welcome back to Koppai Podcast, episode 36. I am one of your hosts, Kaz Risk, joined alongside Mr. Koppai himself, Zach Risk.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here in our nice, comfy studio. Koppai Studio is located on 3838 Marriott Street in Seattle. Yep.
Seattle?
That's where Nintendo's at.
Oh, that's the actual address?
No, I just made up. I completely 100% on the spot right now made up 3838 Marriott Street.
Oh, okay.
Don't even know if that's a real thing. As always, we've got another good one for you today, folks. Our best episode
I'm sure it is
yet. I bet someone just put it in their maps.
One day in the
Maps
future,
right
that's going to be the Koppai headquarters.
Yeah, we'll just make a street. I should have picked a lower number because now we have to find like 3838. We'll have to wait for that to be an actual street. I would love to have a Koppai Studios one day, though.
We're going to have it.
Yeah, in Seattle it would also be super legit. Seattle, I wouldn't mind moving to Seattle. It'd be a
when
little...
when Bill's on the show, I think that we'll be in a Koppai studio, probably there in like Seattle.
Yeah, we'll just have him
at
down.
3838 Marriott.
Or there's like, if we go like to Northern California, then we're right in between Seattle and San Francisco, so like we can just hop up to Nintendo if we need to go down there, or San Francisco. Everyone goes down to San Francisco for stuff. So
yeah, we'd be like down there. We'd be between like the two major echelons of like the spiral of gaming culture.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like,
and Pixar Studios up north in California. So
I would love to go to Pixar Studios and check out that place.
Yeah, heavy.
We watched Secret Life of Pets last night, and is
that Pixar?
No, it's the people that make like
Despicable
Minions
Me.
and Despicable Me. Yeah,
Minions is so good.
Yeah, I haven't seen Minions yet. We own it, but we haven't watched it yet. And Kayla really wants it because she loves Minions. But I was really not too excited about seeing Secret Life of Pets. From like the trailers I saw, I liked like Zootopia a lot, but Secret Life of Pets. It had a lot of silly moments. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. But I was mostly like super entranced just because the CGI and the computer animation.
Oh, Minions is that way too. Minions is just a visual treat. I saw Minions in theaters and it was just whoo, doctor.
I know, they're just getting so crazy with what they can do now.
I'm super excited. I watched, what is it, like Moana or some sort of like a Hawaiian movie coming out from the people that made Frozen. And so like they like water and all those particle effects down, and they're coming out with a new Hawaiian movie. And that looks like I watched a behind the scenes clip on how they make the water in that movie, and it looks so good. The only thing I don't like is...
Yeah, it was the same thing sorry.
Well, it's like this whole, like, the water flows through you sort of storyline. I'm like, I don't know if I really want that. Like, I just want a little less serious and stuff, but it looked pretty quirky. Has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it.
There's a scene in Secret Life of Pets where they're, like, out in the water a lot, and I was blown away. It seemed like it was really fooling my eyes. I couldn't tell if they like went and actually filmed like real water.
Well, yeah, Frozen starts off that way too. It's like it cuts your eyeballs open with how sharp the water is, and the ice cubes they're making. Like they're just showing off at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Koppai.
Yeah, we are an all Nintendo podcast. In case you thought for some reason we were a Pixar podcast, no, we're all Nintendo that posts each and every week, usually on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as SoundCloud and iTunes, and now on Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, Pocket Casts. I've been loving that app for listening to my podcast, and other various podcast services as Koppai Podcast. Search for Koppai Podcast. For some reason, if you search for Nintendo, we don't pop up. I need to fix that. I've tried to fix it. I've added Nintendo to the tags of our RSS feed for podcast services. If you search for Nintendo on these podcast services, you don't see Koppai, which kind of sucks, because imagine how many people are like, oh, I want to listen to a Nintendo podcast. Unless they know to listen to Koppai, they have no idea. So we need to fix that. So that leaves it in the job of the listener to share us with people, or tweet at us, or email at us, koppaipodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's pretty painful. That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts the Koppai heart.
Yeah. No. Each week we discuss the games we're playing in a segment called Play and Tell, as well as the Nintendo news in a segment called the Nintendo Pipeline. We then jump into the topic of the show and round everything out with Pokemon discussion and a fun game of Nintendo 20 questions. So that's going to be a fun one It's going to be great. Today's topic of the show is the latest news on Super Mario Run for the iPhone and the upcoming Android devices, and Nintendo's push on a mobile, with the NX being a mobile device probably, and then all of their iPhone games coming out. Plus, where is the Nintendo NX? All of that and more. It's going to be a great episode. I'm super pumped. I'm not wearing any pants.
Me neither.
Let's start off the show with a little bit of play and tell. If you want to engage in the conversation, be sure to comment down below with what you've been playing. And if you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. Zach, you haven't really had much time to play anything because you've been so busy researching Syria and the catastrophes happening over there. You've been distracted.
I have been distracted.
And you've been doing school. You're going to your ceramics class, and you're making ceramas.
Yes.
Ceramas? That's what you make in
ceramics.
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 These.
Indeed.
And so you've been busy with school. Last week, I was out of town. That's why we didn't have an episode last week. And because there's just no freaking news, because Nintendo's not sharing anything. They're just like, all right, you can make it up for yourself. And so it's been a little bit of a lull. I think you're being bashful. You're saying, "Oh, I haven't played anything this past week." But between the last episode, you have done, I think you hopped back into Fallout for a bit. We talked about that briefly in the last episode in our preparation for Nuka World. I know you've been doing like some Rocket League and yada yada yada. So you haven't been completely without, but nothing like new and noteworthy necessarily to share.
Yeah.
I've been waist deep, knee deep, chin deep, probably about belly button depth in Destiny, the Taken King, as it leads into Destiny, the Rise of Iron, or just Rise of Iron. And that comes out, if you're listening to this on Monday, it comes out tomorrow. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, which I'm hoping to get it posted by Monday, but maybe you can post it on Tuesday, I don't know. Then the game is out. Super duper hype, at least for me. You're not much of a Destiny'er yourself. No. You were for a little bit, but it's tricky to get into, especially the vanilla version. Taken King, I think you should hop into. The story of the Taken King is so good, and the cinematics are breathtaking.
Yeah, I need to check it out. I've seen some of the things, and it seems like, definitely once you get deeper into it, it starts to pay off in a lot of ways.
It's crazy.
You have to actually put in the time and get in there.
I'm doing half preparation for Rise of Iron, half trophy hunting. And so there's a trophy for maxing out a hunter, a titan, a warlock character. Like a trophy for each different class. And so I've always been playing as my titan, but now I'm trying to level up a hunter. And so I went back through the whole story to level up another character. And through going through the story, it's crazy. I played through the vanilla version, and then you complete the vanilla story, and then the Taken King starts. And all of those complaints about story and about how convoluted it was and how it was mainly told just like in the loading screens and stuff and not too much in the actual levels. Like the Taken King immediately remedies that. And the Taken King starts off with like a 5-minute cinematic like getting you set into this universe. And then every mission is just one epic story piece after another. And Taken King is just a complete 180 pivot shift away from the original version. So if you haven't played Destiny since the original, get the collection on this Tuesday. It comes with every single game for $60, I think. So awesome deal when the Taken King itself was like $40 and all the DLC's been like $20 each and the original game was $60. Like you're just getting so much of it off, and you're getting Rise of Iron, which itself is like $30. So you're basically getting so much for free. So I'm getting super excited for that. I think Rise of Iron is going to be great. I never have enough people to play the raid with, which leads me to the next game I've been playing. You may see it in the thumbnail in the background if you're watching on YouTube. I've also been playing tons, actually not really, of Triforce Heroes. I was back home this past weekend visiting home and the in-laws, and my wife's brothers, my wife's little brother has a 2DS now because of the 2DS I got her. He saw that, loved it, got himself one. He's been loving it, been playing lots of Mario Kart. But he also got Animal Crossing, and then we did download play with Triforce Heroes. And then her other brother used her 2DS, and so the three of us had a full squad and we did like 5 different puzzles in Triforce Heroes, and it was so fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I was like the ringleader because I know like how to play Zelda games and stuff. Her little brother plays quite a few games, so like he kind of knew like the gist of what to do. And then her older brother's in college, so he's, just kind of capable of just figuring things out. Just use your brain. And so we were all pretty well equipped, but it was also interesting to see like the different levels of familiarity we had with video games and all trying to communicate. Thankfully, we were all in the same room, so we were just yelling at each other like, "Yo, you need to pick me up and turn me around and shoot me that way." But we also had a few months where we were killing each other, and it reminded me once again a lot of Super Mario 3D World, where you're supposed to be working together, but you're actually just killing each other and throwing each other off cliffs. But then you're like, "Oh crap, we actually are losing the level, so we need to work together here." And I thought it was an absolute blast. It makes me actually kind of want to try just to go ahead and play it online with rando people, because I feel like even though that would make it super difficult, I think that would add a level of charm to it. And so,
yeah, that could actually, because that's what they say is some of the complaints with these games, like when they put Mario Party on the 3DS.
Or even going back to Destiny, like the big thing with Destiny is people want matchmaking for the raids and for the higher level stuff. Right. And the guy that does the community management for Destiny is like, do you realize how much that would suck to be doing these high level, like intricate co-op levels, and you can't talk to these other people. You don't know who they are. You don't know if they have to leave for dinner, like in 30 minutes. Like, you don't know them at all. Like, it's best to communicate with your friends and stuff, but then it would be nice to at least have the option to just go for it and take the risk of playing with people that have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the option should be there. But yeah, a lot of people do complain about that, though. Like Federation Force, it's been said that, yeah, when you're playing it in a room with a lot of people around and you're all having a good time, or like in a voice chat or something like that, it can be really fun. But when you're playing online, like, you really need in some of these games that communication, and some of those things can be really detrimental. It's nice, though, that at least Nintendo does put that option available. I think that it's like, why not? At least, if somebody wants to make that choice, but...
They need to have, though, I think Destiny has the looking for group website where you can put in like a little note like, I'm looking for a group to play for 2 hours tonight, and I have a headset, They need one of those for Triforce Heroes, because then you and I could get on that and just find one other person and make a new friend. But, oh well. Yeah. But super fun, though. I'm excited to get back into it. It may be one of those games that I only play when I'm back home and get to play with them. In which case, I don't mind. Like, that's the nice structure of it. It's just a few puzzles every now and then. We just make progress. Yeah. And so I got a lot of bonus coins for playing with friends. It was like, thanks for playing with someone. Here's all these bonus things. I'm like, ha 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 ha. And so that was good. I also played a little bit of Pac-Man 256. Not much to say about that. It was fun. I heard a lot about it, and it was on sale for like $2. Yeah. So I had some fun money, so I got that.
And that was on PS4?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you play that a lot? Or was it Championship Edition?
I played Championship Edition. I got 100% in that.
Okay.
And the new one comes out, Championship Edition, like 2 or something, really soon, and that, I guess, is supposed to be really great. And I loved Championship Edition.
Yeah, well, I heard you rave about Championship Edition. For some reason, I thought it was Pac-Man 256, so I got that right away, and I'm like, it's fun, but it's not like something to write on about. I don't know what.
Yeah, Championship Edition is just like a pure celebration and just like really crazy chains and combos that kind of feel good, but also it gets intricate as you go along. So, but it's just fun and it's got that addicting nature. I thought it was actually like a perfect evolution of Pac-Man that wasn't like the original, but seemed like a modern, fun, fresh take. And so I'm actually really excited. I haven't really looked into the second one.
The sequel. I think that comes out like it's either out or it's coming out like very, very soon.
Yep.
So super exciting. Yeah, those are the games I'm playing. Let us know down below your thoughts on multiplayer games, matchmaking, things like Triforce Heroes and Destiny. Are you picking up Rise of Iron? Have you been playing since it went live at 4 a.m.? I don't know, or it's like 2 a.m. or something is when the servers officially like switch and update to Rise of Iron. Really cool build up to it right now. There's like this infection going on that if you play in the Crucible, the multiplayer mode, some people like have this infection that they got from a level. And people are trying to figure out what it means, like it's spreading around to people, and people think that when Rise of Iron comes out on Tuesday, there's going to be like this big story thing to relate to people's infections, and so I'm not infected yet, but 'cause I'm not playing online. But it's just stuff like that they go beyond the fourth wall of the gaming world and kind of communicate with people and stuff on Reddit. I like when a developer does that. All of that makes me hope that I want to close out this play and tell. I've been really digging the shooter genre lately with Destiny, and it makes me actually pretty excited for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare coming up. I've been watching all those trailers. Jon Snow is in it. They just showed the latest trailer, with Jon Snow, and something like that Activision, like say what you will about Activision, how much they do microtransactions, but they put a lot of money into their shooters, and they're always top freaking notch. Makes me super excited for that, and super excited for a Metroid game, which we'll talk about next in the Nintendo Pipeline. So if you're listening just to the snippet, be sure to tune in Nintendo Pipeline. But for everyone else, it's time to unclog the Nintendo Pipeline. Each week, we take our plungers and stick them deep into Nintendo's pipes and unclog item after item to discover what is going on in the world of Mario and friends. Oh my god. That sounded like one of those like sound bites, like just yeah. Oh man. This week we have 10 pipe plug-in news bits that need to be dealt with, and if you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. Number 1. Happy birthday, GameCube. GameCube had a birthday on September 14th and turned, what? How old?
15?
15? Little adolescent.
I think, didn't it come out in the year 2001?
I think so. I guess you could say it's going through puberty. Get it?
Happy birthday. What?
Puberty.
Puberty? Puberty? Oh!
Game puberty. Oh, man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, the console was initially codenamed the Dolphin prior to its launch, and it's 7 years of production. That's a long time.
I'm glad it wasn't Dolphin.
Yeah, Revolution would have been a cool name for a Wii, but Dolphin would have sucked for the GameCube. Yeah. I'm hoping they stick with NX. Artsy Omni, the guy that does Smashified on YouTube, the guy that's infamous for making the Rayman leak for Smash Brothers, he doesn't want it to be called the NX. He wants it to be called something different.
I want it to be called the NX.
I think that sounds... I mean, Nintendo Experience would be the ideal name for it. I think that sounds legit.
Yeah.
The GameCube sold 21.74 million units worldwide before it was discontinued in 2007. 21.74 million units for reference. I think the Wii U hasn't hit 20 million yet, if I'm correct. And the PlayStation 4, I think, is past 40 million. Xbox One, I think, is either just hit 20 million or somewhere around there. So it did decent, not great, not terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But it is highly regarded as one of Nintendo's best consoles, actual consoles, and the little boot screen is
iconic. Yeah.
Next to the original PlayStation, the GameCube and the original PlayStation are like the two, and I guess Sega, the Sonic one. I would say those three are probably the most iconic. But like for nostalgia of that period of time, I think the GameCube and PlayStation just nailed it perfectly. Their little intros and setting the atmosphere for
it's actually
the game you're about to play.
It's actually in our intro, the little do 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 do. Like our little intro sequence is a combination of like the Nintendo Direct music, the Wii startup theme, the Wii U startup theme, and the GameCube jingle, and they all hit right at that moment when I say hi hello. So yeah, we use that jingle. We love that jingle. And if you hold down the Z button, it does like different noises and all that. So, super exciting. Happy birthday. About 5 million of those 21 million sales are from Super Smash Bros. Melee fans. Taking them to those Evo and MLG. Yeah. You always see D1 walking in with like 20 different GameCubes, and they all have the handles, and yeah, there's a lot of them. Next rumor, speaking of consoles, Emily Rogers, infamously known for, or perhaps famously known for, the NX rumors and the leaks that she's done, says that the NX will have an early October reveal. Oddly enough, everyone else said that before she said that, so some may believe that she may have stolen this information, but it also could just be information that she also heard, which could give me more credence to it, or it could just be he said, she said sort of information. all that being said, there was the rumor for the longest time that it would be a September reveal with the Tokyo Game Show. I think the Tokyo Game Show is still going on like throughout today, so we may get an NX reveal. If we do, we'll do a reacts to it. We're going to be attach it on to the end of this episode. We haven't heard anything yet, and there's been no hints or signs that it's going to be coming to Tokyo Game Show. We have a little bit of information later in the show about Kevin Pereira, who deserves to be completely boiled in fire. But yeah, so
I gotta ask something real quick.
What?
Are you tapping or something?
Oh, I'm kind of like, like jiggling my, like kind of like moving my leg, like how you kind of like tap your leg.
I kind of suspected that you might be doing that or something because I could just hear a little like I don't know if I can even
like a little
make
it.
Yeah. I was trying to decipher if it was when you were talking, like when the voice just hitting the mic or something, or if it was like.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll be more calm.
Okay.
I think it's also because like I was like resting my hand on the desk, so now I'm kind of doing it again, and I'm also bare feet with the wooden floor, so you may hear like my foot kind of going pitter patter against the ground. But I'll stop. I'll calm down. But yeah, so Emily Rogers has those rumors out there. People are kind of starting to disbelieve her more and more because she said, although people are saying that she said it was going to be a September reveal, now she's taking it back, but there's also no confirmation that she ever said September. She just said like around this time.
Well, now I think it seems like, early October, late September. I mean, we're pretty much getting to late September now.
It's gonna be.
Whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if like they had the 3DS Direct at the start of September. I wouldn't be surprised if the start of October they have the NX Direct. I do think. I mean, they have Paper Mario Color Splash coming out like right away in October. I don't know if they're gonna want to, distract from that. Mm-hmm. And so you would think in the Direct they would want to mention like, oh, by the way, Color Splash comes out soon. But that would seem weird to be like, hey, here's the NX, and don't forget about that Wii U game coming out.
Yeah, well, maybe they don't care. I'm wondering, because we could maybe just say it now that, they've been out there really promoting Color Splash a ton recently. Mm. We keep seeing videos of it. They're sending it out to all the outlets maybe a little early so that everybody can get their videos of the lemon sequences and the fight. Coliseum.
I'm hyped for the game. I read some dialogue from it today, and it has that writing quality of Mario and Luigi, where it's going to be a funny adventure game.
It looks gorgeous.
If you go into it looking for like an old school RPG, which like the old Paper Marios used to be, you'll be disappointed. But if you go into like an action adventure game of sorts that has RPG elements to it, or like turn-based fighting, then it's gonna be great. It's like South Park Stick of Truth. Like South Park, the original Stick of the Stick of Truth wasn't like a super complex RPG. Like it was a pretty just, turn-based fighting and stuff, and you like made your character, but it wasn't like, what you would expect out of like Final Fantasy, where it's like you got inventory management and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so it just seems like something like that, where you're just in the Mario world. You're there, you're talking to people.
Yeah. Well, I've heard at the very least, they've improved the system a bit over since it's largely borrowed from Sticker Star.
Yeah.
And one of the main complaints with Sticker Star was the fact that there was a lot of going back and retracing your steps because you'd find out in a certain battle, oh, you need this sticker, and we never told you needed it, so now you have to go back and search. But they've really improved on that a bit, so while it's still some of the lackluster combat system that people didn't really like from Sticker Star too much, it at least doesn't have that huge drawback of like, oh, I have to go retrace my steps a whole bunch. I think that you're able to progress a little bit easier through the game.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit quicker. That was my kind of main concern with it, was that it seems like maybe the combat can get a little too long when you have to select this and then like tap and fill up and all that. But I don't know, it seemed like they were able to streamline it down as much as they could to where hopefully you can get into a pretty decent rhythm of it, and some of it's entertaining enough with the cute, gorgeous animations and all that.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I think I'm going to pre-order it if we're doing some budgeting, not like this upcoming Friday. My wife and I get some couple paychecks, see how I can handle and tackle the fall. I think that's going to be one of my ones on my to-get list.
Yeah. Well, I was also going to say that I think that maybe they're sending it out early so that, maybe everybody will already know Color Splash is still coming out. I mean, if you missed that Color Splash is coming out, when they switch to the NX early October, I just think that they've made it known enough that they wouldn't have to
Color
necessarily
Splash
be like,
is like the
oh,
swan
by the
song,
way,
like they'll be like.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll be a perfect transitioning thing so that people, once they announce the NX, they can still think like, oh, I'm still getting Color Splash this month for my Wii U. And then,
is there any other Wii U game coming out after Color Splash?
Besides
Zelda?
Breath of the Wild. Yeah. No, I don't think besides that, except, I guess, indie titles.
Yeah.
So there'll probably be
I think that's why they've probably been pushing their marketing out the wazoo for Color Splash, because they're probably gearing up for this NX marketing, because that's the other thing with this whole October reveal. There's rumors going along with the October reveal that the NX will be delayed past March. We do have some March information for the Zelda amiibo coming up soon, but I don't think they're delaying the NX launch. I think it's going to be March, which means if they reveal the NX in October, they have only a few months to really just pump out marketing, advertising, especially in the midst of all the other yelling of PlayStation Pro, which I wish we had time to talk about the PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One S and Scorpio and stuff more on this show, because that's so relevant to the NX and all that. But
yeah,
PlayStation Pro, though, initially a lackluster response on the internet. Now people that are actually like reading into it are kind of like, wait a second, this is a powerful little box. So, a little bit big, but a powerful box. I think it was like a 4-point-something teraflops, which I don't really know what a teraflop is, but if the Xbox Scorpio is 6 teraflops and the consoles right now are 1-point-something teraflops, it's a substantial upgrade for only $100. But they barely said that at the PlayStation meeting. They're like, oh, it does 4K. It's like, well, doesn't the Xbox? And it's a whole rigmarole. Mm-hmm. Speaking of teraflops, Yokai Watch, the movie event, is coming soon. I don't know how that's anything to do with teraflops, but it's number 3.
It seemed kind of like a criticism, maybe like a major flop.
Like no,
a good diss. Like, man, you're a teraflop.
Actually, is a good diss. You're such a flop. You're a teraflop. Number 3 in the Nintendo pipeline out of 10 news bits. The Yokai Watch movie event is coming soon, October 15th, and will be in select U.S. theaters around the country. We did a little bit of discussion on Yokai Watch, one of our previous episodes, if you want to listen to that. But we like the show. We've only watched a few episodes, but I don't know. Awesome. I really want to get the game.
We'll talk about it in the Pokeblock, but they did redesign the Ash a little bit in the new Sun and Moon anime, and some people are talking about how it has a bit of a Yokai Watch kind of new influence, it seems a bit.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of interesting. But I did notice too, I watched the trailer for the Yokai Watch movie event thingy, and it seems like they have some of the same like sort of vibe of when you see a Pokemon movie and they use a little more of the 3D effects and
the high production and all that.
Yeah. It almost seemed like they used the same. Like, is this from the same animation team as who makes some of the Pokemon movies? Yeah.
I mean, Japan's pretty small. Like,
that's true.
It's a small world over there, so they may just be borrowing from people. Speaking of movies, a Hollywood Monster Hunter movie has been announced. Monster Hunter's producer announced that they are working with Hollywood to develop a Monster Hunter movie. Unlike the upcoming anime, it is said to be an adaptation of the main series of games. While no other details were given, this is certainly exciting news for fans of the franchise, which does not include Zach and I. Not that we are anti-fans, we just don't.
I do have Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, but it's like never been touched. So.
Yeah, I think I downloaded the demo of Generations and deleted it within like seconds. Like it just was not my cup of tea.
I played it once, and I think I was kind of confused.
Yeah, seems like people love it on the 3DS, especially in Japan. It's like a huge hit on mobile titles and stuff. I just always thought like this should just be on console, and even if it was on console, I don't know if I'd want to play it. So nothing against it. I think it looks awesome. Always looks like a game that should be pretty fun, but just nothing I ever got into or had the patience for. Number 5, Shovel Knight players will be able to get their hands on the retro-inspired platformer's second expansion next year. Yacht Club Games has confirmed that Spectre of Torment the Spectre of Torment add-on will be available in the spring of 2017. According to the developer, it is, quote, a huge game, end quote, and consists of even more content than Plague of Shadows, which was released nearly a year ago. Other details regarding the upcoming expansion will be announced at a later date. They're also going to be coming out with the King Knight story. So you get to play as Spectre Knight and King Knight. King Knight's the DLC I'm most pumped for just because he had the best dialogue of the entire game. The delicate Nandy.
Yeah. I need to go back and finish that game because I absolutely loved that game, and I was getting pretty far into it and then got pulled away and really need to go finish it because, I want to get that and like all the DLC for it.
Yeah, it's like 2D side-scrolling perfection. Like, in every way. In writing and graphics and gameplay, it's just a perfect game. I platinumed it on the PlayStation. I want to get it on the 3DS and just replay through it. I have it on the Wii U. I bought it and didn't play too much of it when I was on the Wii U, but then, And so I did play Plague of Shadows. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. It wasn't as intuitive of gameplay controls as Shovel Knight because you play as like the Plague Knight, and so you're like hopping around on little vials of potions and stuff. Yeah. Spectre Knight, I don't know how they'll play. King Knight, I would imagine, plays a lot like Shovel Knight because he has a sword and stuff. So awesome, though. It's all free.
I would suspect that they have probably listened to anybody maybe you're not alone in that boat of being not really thinking that it was as intuitive, so maybe they've really stepped up on trying to make this one a bit more kind of a neutral experience in that way.
Plague Knight was very much so, or Plague of Shadows was very much so, they did change certain elements of the levels, but a lot of the levels were completely untouched or very much so the same, but the character played completely different, and so it just didn't make complete sense in my mind. And there's only one trophy for it, and the trophy was get all of the trophies in game, but not because they have the feats in the game and stuff like that, and so there's no incentive for me to get the one bronze trophy, and so it wasn't fun, and there was no trophies. End of story. Number 6, Nintendo are really out there promoting Color Splash quite well. We've already talked about this, but for the sake of the story, if you're following Nintendo at all, of course you've heard about Color Splash quite a bit lately. It's less than a month away from the release of the game, which is October 7th. They have the Ranger 5 Toads or something. It's like imitating the Power Rangers. They have their little story going on, and just lots of other little promotional things. Giving preview copies. They're at Gamescom. They're at all this stuff. Looks like it's going to be an awesome game. I have high hopes for it, with my expectations well managed. Not expecting RPG of the century.
Yeah.
Number 7. Official French Nintendo website apparently says that Zelda Breath of the Wild amiibo are coming March 4th, 2017. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, another trademark has come out mentioning cartridges. I think we can really say that it's confirmed at this point. Does that mean that the NX and Zelda and the amiibo are all launching on March 4th, 2017? Probably does.
Confirmed. Koppai scoop.
At least in French. The game will be available in French.
Import it.
Whatever that means, I don't know if that necessarily means in France, but it'll be available.
Turn it on, it's like, s'il vous plaît.
Comment voulez-vous, mademoiselle? It's Link has voiceover, and it's just this very, suave French man. They did just do Pokemon X and Y in, basically, Paris. So, you never know. What if New Hyrule is basically just Paris?
Koppai conspiracy.
There you go.
And you are a Nintendo insider.
I am. I tweet at Bill a lot, and he never replies. Number 8, its own news bit. Kevin Pereira on blast. This guy,
Kevin, why?
In case you aren't familiar with the story, going way back, a little show called Attack of the Show with Kevin Pereira back in good old 1742. Very old show. They talked about PC gaming. It was through that show, Zach, I believe, that you had Harry Potter spoiled for you. They got a phone call on their live show that said can you believe Dumbledore? And they're like, oh my gosh. And they did
maybe. I know that I was in a chat room for sure when some people started coming in and doing that because that was a huge event on the internet.
That was the first spoiler ever on the internet of mass quantity, and so.
Yeah.
So Kevin Pereira used to be a host of Attack of the Show. He then went on to host a bunch of other gaming events, including the Nintendo World Championships for 2015, and then was brought back once again to host the GameStop Expo panel for Nintendo. And prior to the show, he Snapchatted out, shh, all this big news, hush, hush, these little teases for the show. And people were like, why is he getting all secretive and excited about the show? What's going on? And so they started making threads about it on the NeoGAF. And then Kevin Pereira was like, guys, nothing to announce, nothing to share or experience or whatever, something like that. But throughout the tweet that he tweeted out saying to calm down, he capitalized the words NX News Tomorrow. So it was like, oh, shoot. This is a big deal. And so people were like, absolutely confirmed, you know, because it was, I think it was like even like September 13th or something. It was like supposed to be the day when we were going to get NX news. Like, it made a lot of sense.
Well, and there was things like Game Explain had kind of gone dark. Jose had left IGN to go to Japan because, presumably because to cover the reveal. Everybody was kind of like, people were like, this is it. Everybody's kind of going silent, and people know they're being told to be kind of hush. And it kind of made logical sense that maybe somebody would trickle out a little bit of a tease for it. Like, that's okay, you know? Yeah. So, and so I was actually like,
I was very confident.
Trying not to be, like, get my hopes up, like, this is 100% confirmed, I know for sure, but I was just like, what the heck, I'm just going to be excited and be happy.
You were heartbroken, because I was at work all day, and I just kept getting messages from you like, dude, there's no NX yet, and I'm like, probably won't be all day.
I know, yeah. Well, that's what I figured too, but I was just kept being like, where's my NX? I was just so kind of angry about it. Like,
and he got like death threats, and then he got death threats from people because it's the gaming world, so you're going to get death threats if you say anything. Yep. And he tweeted out like, I didn't deserve any of this backlash. Like, I was trolling. It's like, dude, you were asking for a whole lot of like negative response. Like, I think personally, I mean, not to be over dramatic, but I think he just lost any opportunity to host Nintendo events. I think he lost a ton of credibility in the video game journalism world, which maybe he doesn't really want because he's a host first and foremost. But I mean, he's the boy who cried NX. Like, I think he lost. I mean, not respect. I mean, I get it. You want to troll or trigger people online, I guess. It kind of makes sense, but it was a little too blatant. He was asking for it a little too much, and so definitely shouldn't get a death threat, but Kevin Pereira, you suck. Number 9, Nintendo's development portal was updated with the codename HAC, handheld and console? Maybe. Possibly. Could be gearing up for an NX reveal. So basically, if you don't know what all that means, is that we're getting very close to the NX reveal, and that websites are updating, and
could be our next episode.
Yep, any day now we're gonna have an episode where it's NX has been revealed finally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of websites, number 10, Metroid possibly coming to the NX. Confirmed? Maybe. Mm-hmm. The story reads from, I think, My Nintendo News, possibly, or was it Kotaku?
No.
My Nintendo News, probably. Or Kotaku. Nope. The community over at Reddit are at it again, digging around for any possible Nintendo NX-related news as we are starved for information. This time around, the user TheUror, or Uror, TheUROR, has been playing around with the various Metroid-related addresses. The user knew that Federation Force uses the name MetroidPrime.Nintendo.com, so he figured, hey, you play around and try Metroid.Nintendo.com. And if you try the site, it works, but it's not currently public. However, if you try something like F0.Nintendo.com, nothing appears. Of course, nothing F0 would appear. Who's playing F0?
Nobody.
There's back to the actual quote. That wasn't a quote. That was myself. There's a possibility that this ties in with Retro Studios having part of their site down. Basically, what this all means for the listener at home or for the viewer at home is that all of a sudden, a big chunk of Retro Studios' website's missing, and all of a sudden, Metroid.Nintendo.com doesn't work, but it's actually owned by Nintendo, and it's just not published yet. An unpublished website link, if you will.
We've been saying this for a while.
Yeah, so the big theory is NX revealed soon, and then Retro Studio says, hey...
They need to change their name to Retroid.
Retroid. Yeah, Metroid, hemorrhoid. they say, hey, we got a new Metroid game. Go to metroid.nintendo.com, and you can also go to retrostudios/metroid.com. Wait, that's not right. And anyway, they go to the same spot. That's the theory. A Koppai theory. Thanks for watching. No, it's not the end of the episode.
That concludes the Nintendo Pipeline.
No,
it's satisfying.
But yeah, so I think we're getting a Metroid within the next month. Not like release, but announcement and NX. Be super hyped. 30th anniversary of Metroid's not dead yet.
No.
Oh yeah. That does conclude the Nintendo pipeline. We can now give it a satisfying flush and watch it swish and swoosh into oblivion. If you enjoyed our discussion on the latest Nintendo news, be sure to like, subscribe, share, review us on iTunes and other podcast services. That means a whole lot. So go click the 5-star button and also share us with your friends and be like, listen to this Nintendo podcast. All my friends. Next week we'll discuss more Nintendo news, hopefully the NX reveal. Time for topic of the show. Each week we take a special item from the Nintendo pipeline, or just the news, the ether if you will, and break it down bit by bit. Today's topic of the show is the latest... I didn't upgrade this in our show notes. So the topic of the show is not the Nintendo Direct that was recently. It's Super Mario Run and our hyped reactions. And so if you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. Super Mario is on mobile.
So while PlayStation has had, I think, a bad couple weeks,
Nintendo's had
a great couple weeks in terms of, like, I think our last episode when we discussed the Direct,
we were hyped.
It was like they did it. They finally came out. They did the Super Mario Maker 3DS. They've figured out how to put Pikmin on the 3DS.
Yoshi on the 3DS.
Wii U ports on the 3DS. And so, they're getting things right. And then here we go with what everybody's been wanting since they announced that they're going to mobile, Super Mario Run. Yeah. And it seems to play exactly, like, perfectly, I think, how they should take it and how Nintendo is able to, use gimmicks and all of their, they have experience with motion controls and trying to get the gamepad to be a viable option, and the 3DS touchscreen and the DS, for years and years. So I think they kind of have experience already there that's able to transfer to mobile really well and also give them like a fresh experience to experiment. And they seem inspired with the project to be like, see what you can do.
Miyamoto's pumped.
Yeah. So, yes.
Well, apparently they've even been talking about Mario on mobile for quite a few years now. Even back to when Iwata was in, or was leading Nintendo. Here's a few bullet points, Zach, for you to munch on. Okay. So you can just kind of nibble on them, suck on them. Okay. Legendary designer and current creative fellow at Nintendo, Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto, said that Nintendo and Apple have been working together on the project for some time. Quote, "It started when we were working on Miitomo, Nintendo's social game for iOS and Android. Or before that, when Mr. Satoru Iwata, Nintendo's late CEO, was still with the company," Miyamoto said. Quote, "Apple invited him to have a conversation about how the two companies could work together, and they started working on Miitomo, and then this opportunity came up," Miyamoto added. The company's stock surged by 24% following the Apple announcement. Miyamoto doesn't believe the success of Pokemon Go should be used as a benchmark for how fans will receive Super Mario Run. Both very different audiences, different concepts, and Super Mario is going to be paid for. While Go is free. Quote, "We're excited and hopefully people will be excited as well, but this game is different from Pokemon Go and we're still interested in how people will respond to that," Miyamoto said. Quote, "A big point with this game is how can we make this a game that people who aren't good at games can play in the game and still enjoy it," Miyamoto said. Quote, "But also at the same time, we've been making Mario games for a long time, and we know how to make them challenging. So if you're a Mario fan, I don't think you have to worry about that part of it," which is just awesome. Nintendo does great at that balance of, if you want to look for all the stars or the coins or the hidden pads, you're going to be able to do that. Or if you just want to get to the flagpole at the end, you can do that. And so I have no doubt that it's Nintendo. They're going to keep doing their charm. It's going to be an awesome Mario game, regardless of its platform. Hopefully it comes to the Google Pixel. Moving on. Why did Nintendo wait until now to bring its famous character to a mobile platform? Well, as Miyamoto explains it, it was simply a matter of the technology finally reaching a point where Nintendo is comfortable enough to use a third-party device. Quote, certainly smart devices have their unique benefits, a persistent network connection and an individual account. And so we are looking at smart devices as an option going forward, and we have more games in development for smart devices, says Miyamoto. Also, something worth noting is why... Oh, Miyamoto. Miyamoto. Very similar. Yeah, another thing to note is that the reason it's been delayed, or not delayed, but just isn't coming to Android right away is because Nintendo's, issue with developing for something besides a hardware they're anticipating. Basically, they know the iPhone, and they know that an iPhone 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is going to play very similarly. If you, they can make it the resolution, the dimensions, all of that, and it's going to be the same on every iPhone.
Oh, poop.
An Android device is off the edge. It's a Note. It's blowing up in your pocket. You can't charge it.
They're full of crap.
Get
it on my Android right now.
Yeah, I'm probably switching to Android, probably the Google phones, which I also found interesting. The rest of this article, which I think you can find on My Nintendo News, Miyamoto goes on to say that he's like, we have very good relationships, though, with Apple and also with Google. And it was like, he didn't say with Android, he didn't say with Microsoft or Windows or, LG or HTC, but he did say with Google, which I thought was interesting because you kind of see that clean design in both Nintendo, Apple, and Google. They're very branding.
Pokemon Go is Google, so they already have that experience, I guess, and that tie with having Google close.
Yeah.
So.
And so I'm hoping, because Google's having an event for their new Pixel phones on October 4th. So what if the Google event on October 4th also announces that the Google Pixel is the NX? The Nintendo Pixel. You heard it here first on Koppai. But yeah, so we're super hyped for the game. We've talked about it a lot personally, and we've just been talking as brothers, so I think we're both excited. I think my wife is excited too because she's been playing lots of Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Bros. On the 3DS, and so she's excited to have Mario on her phone. I think she actually has a lot of trouble with the run button. Like, she doesn't run and jump.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. A lot of people who are not really super, people who are casual gamers really don't think about that sort of thing. And I think that they can think about something that's more of just reflex based.
Yeah, and it's just going to be perfect for this.
Something coming, so, yeah.
I hope he's just always running, though. I hope he's not always walking. I want him to be in run mode the whole time. But I made her a level in Super Mario Maker where you have to hold down the run button in order to beat the level. So, there's parts of the level where you can't jump, but you have to run because there's the little, gap spots where you, can run and step over one gap at a time if you're running. And so she didn't even know you could do that. She was trying to jump onto each little platform, but she couldn't jump, and so she kept hitting the spikes above her head. And she's like, "How do you beat this part?" I'm like, "Just run." She's like, "I can't run. There's little gaps." I'm like, "Just go." And she ran, and she's like, "Oh my goodness!" And I made other parts where you have to hit a P switch and run before the P switch expires, and all these little things. I designed a level to teach her how to run. It's called Couch to 5K. If you want to search for it on Super Mario Maker, get it? Couch to 5K. Haha.
I will have to go play that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually uploaded.
Game at Play and Tell next week. I went and played Kaz's level.
I'm getting hyped for Super Mario Maker 3DS. I'm actually so hyped for that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
That's going to be so great. Mainly, not so much for creating levels, but for just, hey, I just made a bunch of levels. You should play them. All right, I'm going to download them onto my 3DS. I'm going to play them on my, lunch break at work or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice for that. Not so much for creating levels and uploading them, but for the other
I'm interested to see if they do patches for it. We saw, they did for quite a while a lot of patches for Super Mario Maker on the Wii U where they added, cool little features. I wouldn't be too surprised if they are able to figure out some of the things to be like, okay, now you can search and add this, and maybe now you can upload a few things, or now certain courses we've added it so we've added the ability that now this amount of courses that were blacklisted that you couldn't play before now suddenly work because, we have stability increases and all that sort of thing. So, that'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
And it'll be really cool to see if, hopefully with Super Mario Run, that, like we see with games like Sonic Dash and stuff, where they and like Candy Crush and things like that, where they're always adding new expansions
even
to
for
it,
$1, like get it. Or even like they add in like Luigi, and all of a sudden all the levels are different because he has a higher jump, or so that would be cool. Also, closing thought on Super Mario Run and our topic of the show, just to plant a little seed in people's heads. What if they make Super Mario Run Maker?
Whoa.
On the NX. Maybe that's the NX title, because the NX is going to be a phone made by Google, and you make your Super Mario Run levels for people.
That'd be really cool.
Koppai exclusive. That concludes the topic of the show. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below, as well as suggestions for future topics. And if you enjoyed our discussion, be sure to like, share, and review us on iTunes, as well as other podcast services. Even if you're listening on YouTube, hop over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Boys and girls and Pokemon trainers far and wide, it's time for the Poke Block, the segment of our show where we discuss anything and everything Pokemon, from news to competitions and our own personal Pokemon journeys like Nuzlocke challenges and whatnot. If you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. We have a few pieces of news to discuss, some stuff that we never discussed in the past. We're going to barrel run through it so we can get to 20 questions, our fun little game. And also, just because it's Pokemon, you know what's up with Pokemon.
Yeah,
you know what's happening.
Close. They've done a really good job at keeping us supplied with information on this game.
I think I'm going to title this snippet, or this little portion of the show, something about just how kudos to Pokemon for celebrating the 20th anniversary the best way.
Man, the transparency. Yeah, I mean, like, Nintendo should really be taking a hint about the NX and how, Pokemon Company has been handling their trickling out of Pokemon Sun and Moon information. Cause I hope that
not only that, but like the nostalgia with Pokemon Generations and the trading card game, and then they've also been doing lots of stuff. Like they released Pokken this year. They've done a little bit of like pushing towards the future, releasing a new game, honoring the traditions of the old games. They've been doing the anime with X, Y, and Z, and then leading into Sun and Moon. They've been doing, they have completely 100% nailed their celebration of the 20th anniversary. So kudos to the Pokemon Company. If you're listening to us, we're very proud of you. We're very proud of you.
Kudos, the new Pokemon. Kudos.
It's a new Pokemon. There's 5 bits of news in the Poke Block. Number 1, Pokemon Go has been updated, with the biggest thing being that buddy Pokemon are here. I have Blanket as my buddy. He's my Squirtle. I got him appraised. Apparently, my gym leader said that Blanket is by far the best Pokemon ever. So I'm going to take him walking, because he's actually better than a wild Squirtle I caught. I caught another Squirtle out and about, and Blanket, even though he has a lower combat power, he's actually better in attack and defense and all of that. So he's the first Pokemon I caught. So I do want to catch a Pikachu, though, because a little tidbit for people out there listening: if you put Pikachu as your buddy Pokemon and then walk 10 kilometers with him, he'll hop up on your shoulder.
You don't have a Pikachu yet?
I don't have a Pikachu, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there is.
How to get a Pikachu?
Well, the very first week I was playing, I was out in the park playing, and I had thought that it was just randomly generated. Like, you just ran to Pokemon randomly depending on how far you walked. Mm-hmm. And so someone was like, guys, there's a Pikachu over there. And I'm like, not for me, because I'm a different person. So, like, you may have found a Pikachu, but that was like when no one knew how the game worked yet. They're like,
right, yeah.
Like, what the crap does tracking and hunting and sightings mean? And, like, no one knew the game. It's like, it was the first night, I think, and someone's like, there's a Pikachu over there. As far as I know, he probably was like it was the starter Pikachu for him. Like, who knows? So,
yeah.
I still do want to go out around in my house, though, and see if I can find that Pikachu. But, buddy Pokemon are here, basically, is what we said months ago should happen. Like, we literally talked about on the show that you should be able to just walk a Pokemon with you. You can walk a Pokemon with you. They get candy. You can level them up, make them more powerful. It's perfect. Take advantage of it. We love it. John Henke has said that battling with friends is coming because his kid is begging for him for it. So, yeah, there you go. Number 2.
I bet it's not going to be very fun battling, though, if it's any way that they've handled the gym, so I can't say I'm too
trading,
Right.
and then I'm worried about trading coming because that'll kind of take away a lot of it. Where people are,
Yeah.
there's already so much spam online with people like buy Poke Gold, buy Poke Coins. Like you just know once they added trading, it's going to be you can buy this Mewtwo for free.
Yeah, it takes away a lot of the actual gameplay that really there is none of Pokemon Go. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking we do need to do a Koppai episode here sometime maybe in the future of just like looking back on Pokemon Go, like after it's kind of settled now.
I'm actually writing. I'm the web editor for my school paper, The Northerner, and I am writing an article that's going to be published this next week for our school newspaper about Pokemon Go. I don't know. They just told me to write it. They're like, "Hey, you play Pokemon, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Can you just write about Pokemon Go? It's pretty relevant, so we need something on it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm going to write about Pokemon Go Plus and
Nice.
a kind of a retrospective of Pokemon Go in the past few months. Because when did it come out? July? So July...
Late July, I think?
Yeah, so July to August to
Or maybe
September.
it was early July.
So yeah, 2 months later. Pokemon Go 2 months later. I'll look back or something. Yeah. Number 2, Ash gets redesigned. We already talked about this in the Nintendo Pipeline a little bit when we were talking about Yokai Watch. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go back and find that video. But basically, he's redesigned, kind of loses his nose. Looks a little bit more, I don't know, anime, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Some love it, some hate it. Zach, you didn't really like it completely at first, but now you're ultimately settling on a big old bag of love for the new style, as you wrote down in our notes. I think it's fine. The pictures people are posting online are the crappiest pictures from like in between animation slides. It's not fair at all. If you just go watch like the moving trailer for it, if you watch the trailer just like 2 times, you get used to it. Like it's fine.
Well, one of the things I noticed about it that I did really like was somebody noted that they've made his animation a bit more fluid with this new style. And the animation overall has a bit more of a fluidity to it, and I really liked that sort of aspect to it. And I don't know, I think that it's kind of cool, kind of refreshing, I guess, that they just gave him a little redesign. And Pikachu also seems just slightly redesigned. Like, the whole thing has a bit of a different look to it, but people were also saying that perhaps they're going to do a split in the series where there's now this new kind of style of Ash, and there's going to be the old style of kind of switches. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Speaking of the anime, I'm going to jump ahead real quick. The first 2 episodes of Pokemon Generations have been released on YouTube and probably Pokemon TV or Poke TV, whatever it is. One of the episodes is going through every Pokemon game in little animation shorts called The Chase, and you follow Pikachu. Very, very, very cool intro. The transition, how they kind of blend the game with the show is awesome. And then the second episode is way more dialogue heavy with Detective Looker looking for Giovanni, which I think maybe will
Giovanni.
I think it maybe hints at Team Rocket appearing in Sun and Moon, because like it ends with, I mean, not to spoil it, but it's like a 3-minute thing. So basically ends with a cliffhanger of like, where is Team Rocket now? Where is Giovanni? Where did they go? And so I think it hints at them popping up either in the Sun and Moon anime in some sort of way, or Sun and Moon and stuff. I don't think they actually ever left the anime. Like Team Rocket's always been pretty prominent in the Ash anime. So
yeah, well, that whole Looker, it's basically that the police have been on the Team Rocket and are about to finally, like, people have been somebody's busted them in Celadon, somebody busted them in Saffron, like, they keep moving because basically you have been defeating Team Rocket in each of these locations, and
I like how they
finally
said in the episode, they're like, Giovanni handed out 2 badges and left. Like, not even, like, you and your rival are the 2 people that got badges from Giovanni, and then he just bolted. Like, it was a little too, like, all right, are we that significant? Like, kind of took away a little bit. Because now, every time I play through Red again, it's going to be like, Giovanni.
It was a very literal translation of the game. I mean, even like Giovanni standing up on the hill, like saying, all Pokemon exist solely for the use of Team Rocket. It was just like a line directly taken from the game.
It was good though. I love Origins. I love this Generation series. Wish they were all longer, But
Really nostalgic, those member berries.
oh, I remember. Jumping back to number 3, we got a new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer, as well as some new Korokoro scans. This is what we have learned. Rockruff's evolution is called Rugarugan, or Rugarugan.
All
It
right.
appears that it may change form during day and night, not simply a split evolution. And we also got 2 new Ultra Beasts revealed, UB02 Beauty, shown in Pokemon Moon, and UB02 Expansion, shown in Pokemon Sun. And next month's issue of Korokoro will reveal the true strength of Type Null, which is a very interesting Pokemon. Number 5 in the Pokeblock news, My Nintendo News reports that, quote, quote, a huge difference between the 2 game versions, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, have been announced. In previous games, you could discover certain Pokemon in only one of the 2 versions of the game. Now, in addition to this feature, there will be differences in the way time is set in the 2 games. The 2 worlds of Pokemon Sun and Moon are 12 hours apart and are tied to the actual time in the game. Are tied to the actual time in real life. Pokemon Sun operates on the same time as your Nintendo 3DS system, but time in the world of Pokemon Moon is shifted by 12 hours, so making it at night, if you're playing during the day, and so on and so forth. Some totem Pokemon will appear in the trials throughout the game, will also be different in each version. Players will encounter different Pokemon on the same route depending on whether it's day or night, which means players will have different experiences according to their chosen version of the game, which I think is awesome, because for the longest time, you've always had, like, alright, you basically have the same game as me, but you have, Nido King instead of Nido Queen, or, Caterpie is more frequent instead of Weedle, but now it's going to be like you have a very different game.
Yeah, I think I don't know, it's kind of weird though with the whole 12-hour shift. I think it's like when people would play Pokemon Gold and Silver back in the day and only got the opportunity to play it at night, and so therefore they'd always be playing it like super dark in the game because it was the night cycle. And so if Pokemon Moon, which is I've kind of chosen as my primary game, I'm going to be mostly playing at night when it's daytime in real life. I don't know if I like that necessarily.
Well, if you played after school at 6, it'll be 6 a.m., so it'll be like morning time for...
That's strange. I mean, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. 12 hours difference is like just enough where it's like if I'm playing in the afternoon, like... If I'm playing like during my lunch break, it'll be midnight in the game, so it's going to be nighttime. Or I guess I'll be playing Sun, so it will be lunch. But if I'm playing like late at night at midnight, it'll be late at night at midnight. So I mean, like I'm going to be able to get both spectrums. Like it's not like people that play Pokemon Moon are completely screwed out of playing during the day. Playing after 6 p.m. at night, or like playing like a 7 p.m. session. It'll be daytime for you in the game, and you'll be able to catch those daytime Pokemon and those daytime experiences, so...
I just think it's a little strange is all.
Oh, it's definitely super weird.
Yeah. Because it makes me want to it makes me more tempted to play Sun, and I think it can make a lot of people tempted to play one where it's just like freaking normal time.
Well, if it's that much of a problem for you, unless you don't really want to mess with your 3DS clock.
No, I don't want to mess with my 3DS clock.
I never did that with Animal Crossing. I don't like messing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, I'll deal with it, and it might be kind of cool, because I just kind of like it'll be like, it's a kind of different world, different time thing, but
yeah.
I don't know. But you also didn't mention, I don't think, did you?
I think
Alolan Oak.
Yeah,
Alolan Oak.
I got some
it's
things.
It's like Cousin Vinny, right?
Yeah, and Cousin Vinny, I don't know. I had it written in the notes, but I don't know if it saved to the PDF version of the notes that I saved. But we did miss some things from the previous Pokeblock that I wanted to discuss very briefly.
It was the Aether Foundation we never really discussed, which is the man-made island we've kind of seen. It's basically for protecting Pokemon that have been targeted by Team Skull, which they gave Team Skull kind of a formal revealing, which I thought we did discuss, but we could discuss just briefly again that, they do have, there is like a Team Rocket sort of thing going on here. So Team Skull is the Alolan Team Rocket.
Wait. It's at... If you look in the notes, it's right underneath the Pokemon Generations information.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, yeah. So, Alolan Oak, Paradise, Man-Made Island. Okay, yeah, cool.
And then, Eradicate Alolan form. Got little chubby cheeks.
Yeah. I like him. So
yeah, I like the new dark form Rattata.
What do you think? We never talked about it, and we said we were going to talk about it later. What do you think, real quick, of Team Skull and the Aether Foundation? Because we had talked about in one of the previous Pokeblocks that we never thought there was going to, or I thought personally there was never going to be an enemy team, that the whole trial and the conflict of the game would be based on the kind of, what is it, the rite of passage of the Alola region, and that we wouldn't have an enemy team. And then like that next week they announced Team Skull.
I just think, cool. I mean, they have we need a, that's what I was arguing, that it makes the story, like, you have to have, it can't just be, like, Pokemon wouldn't be fun if all it was you just go from gym to gym and beat the Pokemon League with absolutely no sort of conflict or story, and it was all just feel good, love your Pokemon, we all are just peaceful here and happy, and no conflict whatsoever. It's like, that's not a story. And I could see, like, they could go that route, and it would be still a game that has fun. You have battles with Pokemon, it has that progression, but so many people would complain. So many people would be like, where's my, like, we love story. I did think, like, there was that chance because of how much they've tried to distance this game from other ones and switch it, like, where I thought, if not a Team Rocket sort of cliche, another team thing, they could at least have some sort of villain or, some sort of character that's not totally
well, I thought that was that one assistant lady of the professor. She seems pretty sketch, but now it looks like she's maybe part of the Aether Foundation, so
could be.
There's probably lots more details we could talk about with that. I mean, I'm sure Game Explainer has, like, looked at all the dialogue of these people talking, like, there's that kind of stuff you can, like, pause the game and see, like, the lab they're standing in, the stuff that's in the background. Me, personally, I don't want to get on that level with this Pokemon game. I like knowing that there's going to be Team Skull. I like knowing that there's this thing called the Aether Foundation. It gets me kind of titillized, like, ooh, this game's going to have some meat to it. I'm excited. But
definitely
deeper into that, I don't really want to know because I want to experience it all when the game comes out. If you want to hear all about those details, Game Explained is probably a good channel to check out. You won't find that here because we just want to talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
That concludes, or wait, no. The non-stop hype train for Pokemon Sun and Moon is certainly strong. If you're feeling the hype deep down in your toes and your kneecaps, be sure to share your biggest anticipation for the future of Pokemon, whether it's Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Generations, Pokemon the Trading Card Game, whatever it is, as well as one of your favorite new Pokemon designs. Do you like the Chubby Cheek Raticate? Let us know. Also, share with us any experiences you have on your own Pokemon journeys. Are you playing through any Pokemon games now? Are you leading up to Sun and Moon? Are you playing through Red, Blue, and Yellow on the 3DS eShop? Let us know. Let's play 20 questions. As we near the end of our show, we take time to play a game. One person thinks of a game that has been released on Nintendo hardware, and the other must guess it in 20 questions or less. Last week's and all these other weeks are up, so if you want to listen to those, we try not to spoil them. Be sure to check them out, see if you can guess the games before we guess the games. Leave suggestions down below in the comments, and try to guess this one before we say it. We'll try to we try to answer the questions or ask the questions in such a way where we think out loud. So like you can think along with us. So think out loud with us. Type as you're thinking. And share with your friends so they can play too and see if you can guess it before your friend guesses it. Like, oh, I knew about question 5 and it was definitely Pokemon Sun and Moon. There was no doubt in my mind. If you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on YouTube.
Is it Pokemon Sun and Moon?
You've lost.
No.
If you're listening to this snippet, you can listen to the whole show on youtube.com/Koppai Gaming as well as iTunes, SoundCloud, and more by searching for Koppai Podcast. Zach, it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
To have the game in my head.
That's true.
So, I have a game in my head.
Okay, you got the 20. Wiki?
I have the Wikipedia page pulled up.
Okay. All right.
And that's all you get. Those are the only hints you get. It is on Wikipedia.
All right.
It's a game worthy of a Wikipedia page. It's not like
okay. Good.
And so, you have 20 questions. Question 1.
Was this game released after January 1st, 1990?
After January 1st, 1990, yes.
Okay. Was it released before January 1st, 2000?
No.
No. So it's after 2000.
It's after 2000.
All right. So,
The 21st century game.
okay. Was this game... okay.
Good questions. Okay, so that's question. Now you're on question 3. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Is this game a part of the modern generation? That would be Wii U, PS4, Xbox One ecosystem.
Yes.
Okay. And that would, I guess, it would include maybe the 3DS. I'm not sure if you include that in that question, but all right, we'll just go with that. I asked for about the Wii U.
Your question was, is it part of the modern generation? The answer is yes.
Okay. Is this a multi-platform game?
As in, like, it released on multi-platforms.
Yeah, yes, on like
Yes.
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Are you keeping track of questions?
No, I'm not. Are you? Because
No.
you're the one that. Okay.
No. Okay. So I'll start keeping track.
So far we have it's.
So you asked if it's after 1990, after 2000, modern generation, and then multi-platform. So now you're on question 5.
Okay. Is this an indie title?
Yeah.
This is an indie title. Okay. Okay. Is it a platforming game?
Let me look at the genre here. Technically, no.
I have this idea of what it might be actually in my head already, so I think I'm doing pretty good. What question am I on now? Like 7?
Yeah. So you just said so that was yeah.
Okay. Is this pixel art in this game?
Pixel art.
Is there noticeable like blocky kind of squares or like where it looks like maybe an SNES or NES kind of era game where it's pixel art, it's not like
No, it's not like a
like
an
Shovel
SNES
Knight
game. Yeah, not Shovel Knight, no.
Okay.
Question 8.
All right. Do you shoot in this game?
You can shoot, yes.
Okay. Is this game on handhelds? On 3DS?
What's your question? Is it on handhelds or is it on 3DS?
Okay. Is it on handhelds?
Yes.
Okay. So that means, we could be thinking like either phones or a 3DS or Vita. Is this game on 3DS?
No.
Okay. Whew. All right. Okay.
So question 10, I think? Yeah, 10.
Modern generation, it's an indie game, but it's not 8-bit. But it is on a mobile game that's not 3DS. It's multi-platform. You can shoot in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this from a 2D perspective?
No.
Okay. Shoot. Oh, this is kind of challenging here.
Let me make a list real quick, see if I can figure out how many questions you've asked. I think you're on 11 right now. But and also to refresh the audience, after 90s,
yeah.
After 2000s,
yep.
Modern game or modern platforms, multi-platform.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you ask? You asked if it was
independent.
Independent. You asked if it was on handhelds. Pixel. You asked if it was 2D. Anything else that you asked? I don't remember. You asked if it was on 3DS.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you're on question 10.
Oh, man, okay.
If I recall correctly, we may have missed a question there. But
so is this game an isometric game where it's sort of top-down?
No.
Not... Okay. That was question 10. Are you a human in this game?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, shoot.
You are a human.
So,
Oh, and you also asked, can you shoot in this game?
man, I wonder if I'm just like, wow. Okay, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm pretty blank on, because what is it? Like a game? I'm trying to think of something like that I've played that's kind of independent that would be like on a Vita or and Wii U, or I don't know if I need to ask if it was on the Vita to narrow that down, because I guess I'm thinking it could be either phones or Vita. But I'm thinking, what game is on Vita that is also on the Wii U? I really honestly can't think of one
That's a tricky wicket.
that is like, wow.
I bet there's someone at home right now is like, oh, it's that game. It's on Vita and Wii U. Oh, man. But not you, Mr. Koppai. You're on question 13, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, question 13. You can shoot in this game. You are a human. It's not isometric. It's not 2D. It's not pixel art based like an SNES game. It's on handhelds.
Is this okay? But it was released in the modern gen, or was it? Is it on? I don't know what that question was.
To give you a freebie almost to be kind. It's on modern platforms. It's on modern consoles, not necessarily released specifically on these modern platforms.
But I did ask if it was released after the 2000s, so
it's released after 2000s.
Okay,
but that doesn't necessarily mean it was released on or released at the time of these modern consoles. But it is on these modern consoles, meaning it could have come from older consoles onto these modern consoles.
Ow!
Big hints here, Mr. Koppai.
Oh, now I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, I've never really played, I don't think that you would do something like a Metal Gear and I don't even know if that's on virtual consoles when I haven't played really any of those, so I wouldn't really know to ask about those, but I do know that...
We have an unwritten rule here at Koppai that you've probably played this game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... what
are you thinking? What are you thinking? You were thinking Metal Gear.
I'm really struggling because the Vita.
You got to narrow it down to maybe genre.
But you can shoot in this game, but it's not. Is this a space shooter?
No.
Game? No. Okay. So.
Don't get hung up on shooting.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of the way Damon does 20 questions, where he's like, you guys are getting hung up on the wrong thing.
Man, this is a difficult one. This one I feel is a little bit challenging, but
you're gonna hate yourself when you figure out what it is.
I think that you're getting back at me for my couple past ones that have been a little bit challenging. I'm gonna hate myself. Oh, what game? I need to narrow it down more, though. I need to ask something else. What other question would be good, though? Because, not something like, do you wear a hat in this game? So, is this game... wow. I don't want to say... I don't think it's first person, because that doesn't make really much sense, because that would be either, you're shooting a lot, or... I don't know. There's not a lot of first-person games that are on Vita, and I don't know, and an independent game. Oh.
But do you want that to be unknown? Are you going to go to bed tonight wondering, should I have asked who is the first person?
Is it a first-person game?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it can be.
There's a first-person game that can be. Oh, you know what? You did say it's not pixel. So I was thinking I had a Minecraft come into my head, but pixel is pretty Minecrafty. Minecraft is very pixel based in a lot of ways.
You asked pixel based in the sense of SNES games.
That's true. I did. And you were kind of hung up on that one. You were kind of like, oh, what do I say here? Because, but I would say that Minecraft does have a pixely art kind of style. But I don't know. Maybe that you would be kind of crap. Does this game have survival elements to it?
Yes.
Okay. What question am I on?
Let me check. After 90s, after 2000s, modern game, multi-platform, indie developer, was on handhelds, pixel art in the sense of classic SNES, specifically Shovel Knight games, 2D, 3DS, not on 3DS, not isometric. Number 11, you play as a human. You can shoot. Doesn't take place in space. Can play in first person with survival elements. You're on question 16.
Okie dokie. Do you mine in this game?
Sure. There is. Yes, there is mining in this game.
All right. 17. Okay. Shoot. Are there pigs in this game?
Yes, there are pigs.
Oh, I think I finally came out of my little rut. Well, I'm definitely got like a title on my brain that I think people might be thinking of. Is this game procedurally generated?
I actually don't know if it is. Is it? Is it?
I don't
know. Oops. I clicked on the Wikipedia. I'm not too sure on that one. I think it has procedurally generated elements to it.
Okay. Was there? What question am I on now? Is that 18?
I think so, maybe.
Okay. Was there was there a Super Mario DLC?
Yes.
Is it Minecraft?
Yes, it is.
Oh!
Well done. See that you hung me up though because you asked, is it like a pixel art game?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
And the textures of Minecraft are pixely, but it's not a pixel art game. Like it's a 3D game, you know.
Yeah.
And so, it does say right here, in a 3D procedurally generated world. Yep, so procedurally generated. Because I just know there's some levels, like some areas of it aren't procedurally generated. Like it's, you know, like the tutorial area.
That was a good one.
So.
That was a good one.
Wasn't it though? Yeah, like that's why I was like, you're gonna hate yourself when you figure this out because it's freaking Minecraft. Like,
I know. Yeah.
And it was also tricky. You like led off with, "Is this an indie developer?" And I'm like, "Well, crap, it is. Mojang is an indie developer, but it's Microsoft, Windows. You know, it's Minecraft. It's not what you would think of as an indie game, but it is an indie game." And then when you asked if it's on handheld, it's like on every handheld except for the 3DS.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was
it would
so
have
cool.
worked on mobile and Vita. So
came to the Wii U and the Vita. The forgotten consoles.
Me asking about the first person really helped, I think, though.
Yeah.
Because it started getting to be like, okay, and then you also had to clarify that it can be played in first person.
Yeah, because that's tricky too. Because a lot of people play Minecraft in third person, like they just walk around and.
And somehow, when you said that, like a vision came to my head of me clicking out of Minecraft perspective. And
that's immediately what I thought. I answered because you were like, it can't be first person. Like, there's no way. And I'm like, it could be though. And you're like, all right, is it? And you asked, and I was like, yep, definitely is a first person game. And then I immediately imagined myself switching out of first person in Minecraft because I do that all the time, like to get that precise, crouching over, building your stuff. And a lot of times, like when you watch like Machinima of Minecraft or people playing, they're always playing in the third person because it's just quirkier that way. So yeah, super fun. That was a good one. And I don't know why I thought of it, but I was just like, I want to do a game that's like so not obscure that it almost is obscure by doing Minecraft. Yeah. And so, and it's almost just released on Wii U. So, let us know if you guessed correctly down below. And thank you so much for listening to Koppai Podcast. We hope you enjoyed And if you did, be sure to like, share, review, and subscribe to your favorite podcast service and get updated on when we post. Hopefully posting soon about the Nintendo NX. And we're going to be posting more 20 questions. So if you liked 20 questions, we'll be doing that every single episode. You can listen to it. We actually had someone listen to us on iTunes just the other day for the first time. They had normally listened to us on just YouTube. Real quick, I want to pull up. Let me see if I can pull up here one of our reviews. We can give a shout out to someone that left us a review on iTunes. I actually don't know if I can pull up the reviews here.
It might be something that we'll have to do. We can make it like a little segment.
Yeah, we'll bake it into the next episode. But we do have a few reviews on there, and we want to encourage you to go leave us a review on iTunes. So yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching for Koppai Gaming. And hopefully we'll have some NX news soon to share with you all. But until next time, oh, what a good episode. Not too late either. You wanted to get done by 4:20.
Yeah, I have to get to school because I have to do ceramics for about an hour or so. So I was hoping to, I had done it for and just kind of head out.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend my whole Sunday filming Koppai.
Yeah.
So you'll get me the episode then. Are you gonna head out now? You'll get it to me like later tonight.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna do all the editing once I get back from the school. So.
And when you send it to me, is it possible to save it and send it to me in stereo format?
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Instead of, or not, yeah, what is it? Can you send it to me in mono? Yeah.
Yeah.
So our voices are mended together.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Make sure we sound similar volume and all that.
All right.
All right,
I'll catch you on the flip side.
I'm gonna go poop.
All right, go pie.
Go poop.